Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package for today. I'm your presenter, ALYAN Christopher. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Sovereign says relations between Dominica and South Korea are cordial and fruitful. And we're all set for Jazz and Creole 2018. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupts, launching plume of ash and smoke. Stay tuned for these and other stories when CBN4's Primetime News Package returns. We'll be right back.
Sweet talk, dear man, have a lot of that. Yes, I. You don't know it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody, young and old, to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
And thank you for staying tuned to CBN4's Primetime News Package. Vector Control Operator for the National Pest and Termite Control, NEBBY Baron, has confirmed that there is an increase in mosquitoes and rodents. Baron indicated that National Pest and Termite Control is being frequently contacted by many homeowners about the high number of activities taking place in respect to mosquitoes and rodents.
We do have an increase because you would have householders calling to report that they have a lot of mosquito activity taking place, and the reason why the vector control officers will ensure that they do inspections not also at the premises but open lots, abandoned lots and so on. We ensure that we inspect drains, the ports of entry and everywhere so that we can have the mosquito breeding under control. And even for the rodents, we have a very huge increase.
The Vector Control Operator further encouraged homeowners to continue to ensure that breeding sites such as drums are properly covered.
We encourage them to ensure that their water containers are properly secured, ensure that their the drums are the highest breeding containers on island right now, and tires. So we'd encourage them to cover their drums at all times. As you can see, we had a display of how the drums should be, and for the tires, probably you can do your planting and ensure that it don't breed mosquitoes. All right.
And President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, His Excellency Charles A. Sovereign, has stated that since the diplomatic relations between Dominica and South Korea have been cordial and fruitful since the two countries established diplomatic ties in 1978. The President of Dominica further mentioned that Dominica has benefited tremendously from the government of South Korea's annual economic assistance program.
Yes, the Republic of Korea has made presentations of ambulances, a fire truck, vehicles for the Dominica Police Force, the State Prison Services, Government Information Service, and Foreign Affairs, computer equipment, and other office supplies to the government departments, as well as training opportunities in short courses designed to enhance bilateral relations between the Republic of Korea and the Caribbean.
In March and April of 2018, respectively, the Republic of Korea informed of the decision to provide grant aid to the government of Dominica in the form of equipment and training courses and also housing assistance to the citizens of the Kalinago territory.
Simply, in 2018, the government of Korea provided grant aid in the amount of $100,000, which the government of Dominica has decided to allocate towards the acquisition of a garbage disposal vehicle for the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation.
These kind gestures, the President Savary noted, represents the commitment, mutual understanding and trust which have developed over the years of diplomatic relations.
Your Excellency, CARICOM and the Republic of Korea signed a consultation and cooperative mechanism in 2006, formalizing bilateral cooperation between the two sides in a number of areas, including the use of information and communication technology for the Caribbean community's development. 7 key areas of cooperation were identified, which includes the deepening of mutual understanding between CARICOM and the Republic of Korea, strengthening consultations concerning bilateral, regional, and international issues of mutual interest, and the promotion of investment and tourism.
Korean Ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Kim Byung-yoon, said he is very proud to be the ambassador to Dominica and vows to further strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. And the stage is set for the 9th edition of Dominica's Jazz and Creole this weekend. Colin Piper, the CEO and Director of Tourism at Discover Dominica Authority, urged jazz enthusiasts to patronize the various fringe events, participate in staycation and visit sites and attractions in the north of the island. Activities for the week include Dumbfesta Explosion at the Old Mill Cultural Center, Jazz on the Grill at Tulip Outback Bar and Grill in Picard, Jazz on the Boardwalk at the Fort Young Hotel on May 18th, Jazz on the Beach at Purple Turtle. Jazz and Creole tickets will be sold at these fringe events for only $60. Jazz and Creole begins at 2 p.m. on May 20th, 2018 at Fort Shirley. Assistant Superintendent of Police John Carbon outlined plans for the parking and traffic control on May 20th. Public parking will be from the intersection near the Tantan stretch through Portsmouth, Glanville and Picard. There will be no parking on the Michael Douglas Boulevard from the Longhouse Junction to Borough Square. 1-lane parking only will be allowed on Harbour Lane, Bay Street and at Lagon from Lago Bridge to the roundabout at the Bell Hall Junction. Designated public parking areas are at Whitchurch in Picard, Longhouse Junction, Borough Square, Portsmouth Secondary School grounds, Lago Bridge, Moroccan Hotel grounds, roundabout at Bell Hall and along the Tantan stretch. Parking at the Portsmouth Secondary School grounds will be for fundraising event for the school. Official Jazz and Creole shuttles will operate from all designated parking locations. The 9th edition of Dominica's Jazz and Creole is proudly presented by the Government of Dominica through the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and Discover Dominica Authority alongside headline sponsor Range Developments. And we'll be right back with more news right after the break. Stay tuned.
Sweet talk, dear man, never lot of that. Yes, I. You don't know it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody, young and old, to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
welcome back. Recent statistics have shown that 8 months after the passing of the devastating Hurricane Maria, the farmers of Dominica continue to demonstrate their resilience and commitment to the task of feeding the nation and building back our beloved country. As stated by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Agriculture, Food and Fisheries, post-Maria, a large percentage of foods have been planted by the farmers of this country.
Apart from the large variety of fresh fruits and vegetables at our farmers market and various supermarkets, the record shows that post-Maria, over 266 acres of dashing have been planted or replanted, 94.35 acres of yams, 105 acres of tanias, 74.36 acres of sweet potatoes, 17.49% acres of passion fruit, 13.22% ginger, 58.4% bananas, and 146.93 acres of plantains have been cultivated.
And the 3-day workshop has been ongoing here in Dominica and 2 other member states, namely Grenada and St. Kitts-NEVIS, to strengthen agricultural services, surveillance and quarantine systems. This workshop has been organized by the Food and Agriculture Organization. Fanny James has more on this story.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, is a specialized agency for the United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger. A 3-day workshop aimed at strengthening Dominica's agricultural health services has commenced. The project is funded by the FAO and is being implemented primarily by the Caribbean Agricultural Health and Food Safety Agency in Suriname. CBN4 visited the session at the Prevost Cinemall, where we spoke to various stakeholders participating in the workshop.
Yes, this is an FAO project that is being conducted in 3 countries in the OECS, namely Grenada, Dominica, and St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a project to strengthen the agricultural services in these 3 member states. And specifically this part, we are looking at strengthening the surveillance and quarantine systems in these 3 countries. As an agricultural state, you can imagine that protecting the country from the entry of exotic pests and diseases would be very important. So to have in place the systems that will protect the country would obviously be very important. So that is what we are trying to do through this workshop, to strengthen the surveillance and quarantine systems in the country. Look at the areas that need strengthening, the weaknesses, and then devise a manual that will give the officers the ideas or the systems that can improve that process.
This workshop is very important, and I must say at a timely manner, because as you all know, we had the recent passing of Hurricane Maria, and one of the aspects of what hurricane does is to bring in new pests and diseases. So this workshop will help us to enhance our capacity in the ability to survey and monitor properly.
There we had it. That was stakeholders and participants of the 3-day workshop, which will stick specifically to livestock surveillance. Continuation of this workshop's magnitude to deal with plant disease surveillance is expected in the near future. CBN4 promises to keep you informed on developments then. Fanny James for CBN4 News.
And also in the news, residents of the Grotto Home for the Homeless will finally be moved into their new home at the Bellevue Roll after much delays. That announcement was made by the Public Relations Officer of the Grotto Home, Parry Bellot. Bellot indicated that arrangements are being made to move all residents by the last weekend in May, before the hurricane season begins on June 1st.
And the idea is to mobilize a lot of assistance from people and organizations that can help. Mostly like, obviously, Red Cross, the ambulance service. I'm not sure how much police security will be required, but they will be informed of the move and so on. Ministry of Social Affairs and this kind of thing. But as you can imagine, it's going to be quite an operation. In fact, I sometimes feel like I'm in a war zone trying to manage stuff, and because I'm kind of.
Bellot further mentioned that he has taken a decision to ensure that everything comes to pass.
Had maybe good reasons why we have delayed the move, or it couldn't happen. Well, I wasn't the boss man then, and I'm still not the boss man of the grotto, but in this project, I am, and I'm going to make sure it happens, no matter what. There just might be, knowing the reality of Dominica.
He further noted that there will be a cost involved to assist with the movement of the residents of the grotto home to their new facility in Belvirol. And we'll be back with more news right after this break. Stay tuned.
Sweet talk, dear man, never lot of that. Yes, I. You don't know it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody, young and old, to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
And welcome back. And now with news from around the region, Sir Ronald Sanders, Antigua and Barbuda Ambassador to the United States and the Organization of American States, OAS, in an address to the Permanent Council of the OAS, informed the OAS that Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown has apologized to the Rastafarian community for decades of discrimination against them. Sanders also informed the Council of other measures that the government has taken or intends to take to enhance the rights of Rastafarians, who are a minority group in Antigua and Barbuda. Sanders' report is in keeping with Inter-American Democratic Charter of the OAS, which requires the elimination of all forms of discrimination and intolerance, as well as respect for cultural and religious diversity in the Americas. He revealed that Brown readily agreed to his request to be joined on Monday by Ambassador Franklin Francis, a leading member of the Rastafari community, also to address the OAS Permanent Council on the actions of the Antigua and Barbuda government. An opposition member of parliament in St. Kitts-NEVIS has agreed Prime Minister Timothy Harris to do the right thing and resign over his apparent links to a UK bribery case. Conris Maynard made the comments during a St. Kitts-NEVIS Labour Party press conference. A storm has been brewing around Harris since Friday, when a judgment was revealed at London's High Court in the case of a man accused of bribing high-ranking Caribbean officials. Peter Verdi was arrested by the UK's National Crime Agency and is fighting extradition to Germany. German authorities have transcripts of conversations where Verdi is alleged to have discussed the details of bribes to both the Prime Minister of St. Kitts-NEVIS as well as Minister in Antigua and Barbuda. Ascot Michael has already stepped down as Antigua's Trade and Investment Minister over the scandal. Both Michael and Timothy Harris deny any wrongdoing, as does Peter Verdi. There have been calls for the Prime Minister to resign as well as protests against him. Harris released a statement over the weekend stating that he emphatically and unequivocally had no involvement in anything illegal. He also said the transcript refers to a time before he became Prime Minister, although it appears they refer to 2016. And an eruption from the Kilauea volcano summit shot ash and smoke into the air early on Thursday on Hawaii's Big Island, and the resulting plume is expected to cover the surrounding area, according to Hawaiian Volcano Observatory. Nearby residents are being asked to shelter in places if they are in the path of ash plume, which the wind is carrying to the southeast of the volcano. Thursday's eruption is just the latest volcanic activity contributing to the nightmare on the Big Island since the volcano first went off on May 3rd. An ash plume Wednesday rose roughly 12,000 feet into the air, and on Thursday, the U.S. Geological Survey issued a red alert, which means a major eruption is imminent or on the way, and ash could affect air traffic. Stay tuned, sports comes up shortly. Having lost access to both the Flow Complex in Kingsfield and the Massac Hard Court after the passage of Hurricane Maria, volleyball players in Roseau and environs have had a challenge finding a place to pitch their net, and for months there was no volleyball activity, leaving players void of their outlet. Finally, a place was found, and with the right discussions through the Dominica Amateur Volleyball Association, volleyball was brought to 12th Street, Kingsfield. As a showcase of the resilience and determination of the sport and its players, two volleyball teams on island, DB's Xerox, Young Vets, and Acers, are proving their strength and flexibility and that of the sport and its players by hosting a 4-on-4 competition carded for Sunday, May 27th at 3 p.m. at the 12th Street, Kingsfield Hard Court. Everyone is invited to participate in the competition, and players are asked to register with a team named by Friday, the 25th of May. A fee of $20 per team is also required, and teams are allowed a maximum of 2 substitutes at a cost of $5 per player. Teams are also asked to be at the venue at least 30 minutes prior to the commencement in order to warm up. Nepal wrist spinner Sandeep Lamichhane, one of the brightest young cricketers on the circuit, has been added to the ICC World 11 squad for the 31st of May T20 against the Windies. The match will be played at Lord's, and all the proceeds will be used to redevelop the stadia in the Caribbean, which were damaged due to the hurricanes last year. Lamichhane, only 17, will join a star-studded lineup which also comprises of Owen Morgan, the captain, Shahid Afridi, Tamim Iqbal, Danish Karthik, Rashid Khan, Mitchell McClenaghan, Shoaib Malik, Hardik Pandya, Thisara Pirara, and Luke Ronchi against the ICC World 2020 champion side, which includes the likes of Samuel Badri, Carlos Brathwaite, Chris Gale, Evan Lewis, Marlon Samuels, and of course Andre Russell, among others. Lamichhane was spotted by the then Nepal coach in 2014 and first represented Nepal in the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup 2016, in which he took 16 wickets in the historic MCC versus Nepal match. He claimed figures of 1 for 25 as the visitors successfully defended 217 for 8, bowling out the host for 176 in 47.2 overs. Still in cricket, August will be a special month for Windies and Bangladesh fans in the United States. Reigning ICC champions The West Indies will face Bangladesh in two 2020 internationals under the lights at the Central Broward Regional Park, Fort Lauderdale, as part of its tour of the West Indies later this year. The announcement of the Bangladesh tour of West Indies, which comprises 2 tests, 3 one-day internationals and 3 2020 internationals between June 24th and August 5th, forms part of a packed international home season for Windies that also includes a tour by Sri Lanka. Windies have previously played 4 2020s at the Central Broward Regional Park, the last 2 against India 2 years ago, and have won 3, with the other ending in a no result due to weather interruptions. And that takes us to the end of today's Primetime News and Sports package. On behalf of the entire CBN4 team, I am Alan Christopher saying thank you for watching and join us again next time.